The iPhone 8 is here, and with it, we also get the release of iOS 11, which for gaming opens up the really cool opportunity of true AR games. Now, there have been AR games in the past for iOS, but it's usually just using your camera and then putting a bunch of objects on the screen, not really having a great sense of where the floor, walls, or other objects are. But now we have AR games where you can actually have whole maps built on tabletops or have objects bursting out of the ground in front of you. So let's talk about the best AR games you can get right now for your iPhone. Now, to kick things off, I want to start with a game that I think is an excellent introduction to AR gaming, and that's Amon. Amon is a very simple game where all you're doing is using the AR camera to summon pieces of a stone statue in front of you that burst out of the ground, and then you have to look at them to make them complete from the correct perspective. Now, this starts off very, very simple, but a couple later parts will start to get a lot more complex because they'll start throwing things in your way like extra stone pieces you don't have to make use of, or boards that get in the way of making the image complete. Now, the reason I think this makes a great introduction to AR gaming is twofold. First off, there's not any kind of real time limit or challenge to this game other than just looking around and trying to find the right angle, so you can take your time, get used to AR tracking, and really get used to how to manipulate and look at objects in an augmented reality game. The second reason is that you're going to look utterly insane playing this thing, so you're going to have to get comfortable with the fact that just like with any other AR game, if you play this, people are going to think you look crazy and you need to be comfortable with that fact. Now, after Amon, there's another game with a similar premise, but it does gamify it a lot more, and that's Kidu. Now, Kidu is one of those games that has already existed before, and it messed with perspective gameplay a little bit, where you could just tilt the screen to make platforms be lower or higher, but with the release of iOS 11, they've added an AR level as well. And with this one, you're actually climbing a whole tower, having to constantly move around it, looking at different angles to make sure the character can cross safely. Now, given this is only a single level, they are hopefully patching more in time, but I really like this one because this is a style of game that AR is messing with. There's a couple different titles that have come out as well, like Arise, which have the same basic premise, but of all those games, even though it's a single level, Kidu actually feels the most polished to me. It actually has the best use of tracking, and just feels like a very comfortable and great looking experience. Third up, we have Euclidean Lands. Now, just like with Kidu, this is a game that existed before already and it was successful. Fun little puzzle game that has regular levels still, but with the release of iOS 11, you're going to get special AR levels as well now. Now, if you haven't played this game before, imagine a mixture of the art style and kind of puzzle elements of Monument Valley, but mixed with a Rubik's Cube, where you have this sort of floating little stone thing where you can rotate it around, move a character around to avoid enemy attacks, and you have to get to a finishing goal point. Honestly, even without AR, this is just a fun game if you're a fan of puzzles, but with these new levels added, it's a great demonstration of what you can do with AR puzzle games. Alright, enough of puzzle and platform games, let's move on to some action titles, starting with a game whose title pretty clearly explains what it is right up front, and that's zombie gunship Revenant. Now, the way this game makes use of AR is actually pretty interesting because it doesn't just use the basic camera outlook where you can actually, see the room you're in. Instead, it applies this kind of blackout night vision effect to everything, so it still looks very gamey, even though you can still occasionally make out where a table or chair is in the background. The concept of this game is very, very simple. There is a base you need to protect, there are zombies swarming you, and you need to shoot them with your zombie gunship. This game can be played without AR, but I actually find that it plays a lot better with AR activated, especially if you set it up on like a table, because it allows you to move around and zoom in and have a lot more freedom of movement that just feels very natural compared to the regular gameplay. Now, not gonna lie, this is one of those titles where advancement is somewhat slow, and they're definitely gonna try and gouge you for, hey, you wanna just buy real money so you can do stuff faster? You wanna buy real money so you can do stuff faster? You wanna buy real money so you can do stuff faster? But it's not that bad, actually. If you just use it as an occasional kind of pick up and play, sink a little time here and there, it's very easy to unlock a lot of different guns, upgrade stuff in a regular fashion, and just have fun with it every now and then. Then we have the big flagship title that Apple has been really pushing as a representative of what AR gaming can become, and that is the Machines. Now, on the surface level, the Machines is a very straightforward meat and potatoes RTS game. You have your army, you're moving around, you have hero units that have special powers, and ultimately your goal is to blow up the enemy's base. But what's really interesting about it is how it shows off how much more dynamic an AR map can be. A lot of other AR games currently make use of very flat lands or just build a singular tower that you can walk around and look at, whereas the Machines has much more dynamically designed maps where you can actually walk around it and really get a sense for the lay of the land and where you want your units to go. You can look through little underpasses, you can check out which area is higher than others to get an advantage. It just gives you such a much more interesting map layout that other AR games just aren't really making use of yet. So there you have some of the best AR games you can grab right now for your phone. Now, are these the absolute just best games in general that you could ever grab? No, AR is an emerging technology, controls aren't always going to go the way you want them to, things sometimes get a little fickle, but they are a step in the right direction that is really showing us where this technology can go, and hopefully we're going to see some way better games in the near future.